think it's, especially if putting them to sleep first, like, yeah, I think that's humane. I think, yeah, I agree with that. I think it's fine.
So even if the medications prove to not be as effective as anticipated, and there seems to be some.
Well, maybe it was happen like every time. Maybe you find a different type of medication, but the statistics are very low. It usually works as it's supposed to.
Well,
I think you're always running a risk of it not working. You're going to do things a small chance of it not working.
and if there's even a small change, shouldn't we just discontinue it?
I mean, I disagree. It just back to my point where it's like, even if it does hurt, I don't really care for that person.
All right, we'll shift topics completely, guys. Recently, there seems to be a lot of celebrity interest in death penalty cases. Kim Kardashian, I think, is one who comes to mind. The celebrities have been getting involved in lobbying, trying to make the case for certain criminals who've been convicted of the death penalty, or convicted and sentenced to the death penalty, arguing against the institution of that sentence on them. Are you guys familiar with celebrities getting involved with death
A
penalty
little
cases?
bit with the Kim Kardashian. Like, I know she's like with the White House and stuff. I don't know much about it, but I do. I know that she's doing something.
How do we feel about somebody using a personal celebrity to inject themselves into a legal process that is playing out?
People have been doing that for years, and I think they have a huge influence on changing people's minds.
Like public opinion.
Yeah, about like stuff like that. And I think ultimately they're probably not going to change a jury's mind. You know, if someone is convicted of something like that and the jury unanimously decides they should be executed, they're not going to sit there and say, oh wait, but Kim Kardashian said this guy's innocent. You know?
Right.
I don't think they have a huge influence. Maybe across like people who maybe aren't in the jury that don't know all the facts, that she might have some influence, but not to like the jury.
Well, typically we're past the jury stage, right? This person's already been sentenced, and they're trying to have some influence on how that justice is meted out, we'll say. So maybe on a governor, on a politician, on a president, in some cases, to try to get whatever the criminal justice system, whatever that jury, Sam, has said needed to happen or should happen in this case as punishment. They're trying to get that changed after the jury verdict. How do we?
I think if the judge and the jury have found concrete evidence against this person, I don't think one single opinion can take away physical evidence.
Kim Kardashian doesn't have the right to overturn the judge and jury.
She doesn't have physical evidence proving otherwise.
So are you arguing against a governor or a president being able to pardon somebody after the judge and jury has convicted them?
Well, I wouldn't compare Kim Kardashian to a governor.
Well, Kim Kardashian doesn't make the decision. She influences someone who makes the decision.
Which is a politician who gets there with money and people of influence supporting them. So do you think then that it becomes a political process maybe along with the clemency when they're going through clemency and trying to get a pardon that perhaps maybe politicians might make poor decisions overturning a jury decision?
Yeah, I think they would if the public disagree with it, because they're the ones that are voting for them.
What if there's new evidence that's presented as part of their clemency?
I mean, do I think that, wait, so do I think they should have the power to do that? I think they, I mean, I'd say they could, yeah. I think they should, yeah.
If it proves the person innocent and it's new evidence, I mean, by all means.
I don't want to convict anyone that's innocent, but yeah, so I think that the governor, I think the president even can pardon people. I think that's fine.
Yeah, but Sam, they don't necessarily have to have any evidence proving or disproving anything. The president in particular has an almost unchecked ability to pardon anybody of anything. Do we feel like that's fair? Because we just said, well, the jury has already convicted them. They've already said whatever this was egregious. This is the sentence they've handed down. But a political figure can step in outside of the judicial system and say, you know what, I've decided it's okay.
Personally, I don't think that's right.
Have y'all seen any in the news recently?
About President
Presidential
pardon?
pardon?
Yeah, he's pardoned a few people. I don't know much about him. I know one was a boxer. Yeah, I was a boxer.
You just did 3 on Friday.
Okay, Friday.
Yeah, 3 soldiers. Or,
Oh, I saw that.
yeah, you did see that.
I think I did. I think I did see that. Yeah, I don't know like that specific. What were they being? Do you know what they're being charged with? For war crime?
Yes, one of them had been charged for posing with a corpse in, I think it was maybe Afghanistan. One had been charged with ordering, I think he was commander, he had been charged with ordering his people to shoot civilians. I think it was in Afghanistan, I don't remember the third. There were 3.
So in terms of other countries, is the U.S. kind of aligned with how other countries view the death penalty? If not, can you speak to that a little bit? Or
We didn't do much research out of the U.S., but I know like China, for example, maybe executes a few more people per year than. I'd say the U.S. is more lenient on.
Yeah, I didn't do much research outside of America.
I kept my research solely in the United States.
Is there anything we haven't asked you that you were prepared to talk about? I know it's hard to prepare for these things, not knowing what's coming at you. Is there anything that you all wanted to share that we just didn't cover, that you spent time on?
I think I could think of it.
Let me ask you guys this. If somebody has been given a sentence that is not the death penalty, so they've been sentenced to some other prison term, most likely, and they decide they want to opt into the death penalty, do you think a prisoner should be given that ability? Somebody goes, listen, I've been given life in prison, and I can't stay in general population, my crimes are really egregious, I would like to opt for the death penalty. Do you think they should be allowed to do that? Will smile. I can't wait to hear what you're going to say.
I don't know the legal parameters around that, but if, like, I mean, if that's the person's right,
It's almost like
for what they
suicide.
want their life. Yeah, the thing keeps going in my head is physician assisted suicide.
Yeah, that's what I was
Right,
thinking.
okay.
But it's different because they're criminals, so you don't know what
That's not
they
they're
do
like
or-
safe.
Yeah, so.
Okay.
I don't know, that's a good one. I don't know.
Yeah, I
That's
don't know.
So like, let's take for instance Jeffrey Epstein. Are you guys familiar with
Yeah.
Jeffrey
Yeah.
Epstein, right? Who carried out his own sentence by all measure, but so he goes. He was murdered. I know. Not what the news say. So and they're always right. So somebody like that who would be convicted of child rape and all these other things, right? Obviously, that prison justice could kick in pretty heavily. He would not be well received, and so if he's looking down, a life sentence possibly either in general population or not, or 23 hours in a prison cell staring at a wall, and he says, you know what? Listen, I can't do this. I don't want to do this. I want to opt for the death penalty. Should we give Jeffrey Epstein in that case the option to opt for the death penalty? I'm going to go down to each of you, so we'll start with Will. He's still smiling.
I think it's tough to say.
Why not? I mean, look, if he wants to die, who are we to say no, right? We already have the death penalty anyway.
Yeah.
more expensive?
So, yeah.
I mean, I'd say yes.
Well, if he opts into yes, then there's no appeals, right? So it's cheaper,
Oh,
right?
that's true.
He just said, hey, go ahead and get the needle
If I'm the
right.
judge and he's like begging me, he wants to die,
Right.
I'll just be like, okay.
Why not? I'm not coming to your courtroom anytime soon, Will. Okay, so you say yeah, if he wants to
Yeah.
opt for it, sure?
I don't have much basis behind it, but.
Harrison, what do you think? If this person says, listen, hey, you gave me this sentence, but really, you know what, I'm done with this.
Like, it was murder or something like that? Like a capital
Sure.
punishment? And yeah, just capital punishment, and for some reason they got off, and they asked for it, I guess.
Well, they didn't get off, they're in prison, so they're already being given
Got
up
off
the
the
prison
capital
sentence and whatever.
Yeah.
But they say, listen, I don't want to deal with this anymore.
I guess, yeah.
I mean, I guess it would be suicide by criminal justice system, maybe, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so you'd be fine with that?
I'd be fine with
Okay, Sam?
I think ultimately, especially in like the Jeffrey Epstein case, it's gonna work itself out.
Well,
Like
yeah.
I'm not trying to kind of lighten it up, but I mean, people get murdered in prison anyway, and people commit suicide in prison, what's gonna, you know, stop them from just doing that instead of, you know, trying to ask a judge to, like, if they can, like, kill themselves, you know?
Mhm. So I think.
I don't feel like they need to ask for permission. I mean, they could just, like, go to prison and do it.
So across the board, we kind of said, if they want to ask for a more severe sentence in this case, and what they've been saying is, we're fine with that, right?
Yeah.
Hey, if you wanted to have something worse than what you were gonna get, why not, right? What about the family of those victims, though? What about the family who goes, well, wait a minute. I mean, Jeffrey Epstein's a bad dude, he's a bad stuff. Like, I want him to sit in a prison cell and stare at a ceiling, and whatever else happens in prison to him is great. You're gonna go let him just basically suicide by justice system?
Yeah.
Is that fair to those families, then?
I honestly don't think
Or
it's
those
their
victims?
decision because they have such a bias, you know?
Do they have a bias, or do they have a stake in it?
I think it's a little bit of both. But, I mean, I don't think if someone is torn up that much about something, that they should determine what happens with that person's life or death.
Because they can be objectionable, so, is that your point?
Because, yeah, they'll have an objective to, like, they may have personally what they want done to the person, and,
They would be biased, maybe?
yeah.
Okay, Harrison?
I
You know, we're giving Jeffrey Epstein the easy way out, right? He did some bad stuff, he got a long prison sentence, he should have to deal with that, but now you've just said, well, we're gonna let him decide if he wants to just take
I
the.
think that it'd be fine still, even though I get the family would want, I guess, to suffer more, but I think that if he wanted to, I still agree with what I first said, we should still allow him to die, I guess.
From a closure standpoint, he can't do anything else if he's dead, you know?
Yeah, if he removes himself from the earth, if you're so concerned about him being a terrible person, then one, he can't do anything, like, again. But the way I see it is like, well, now, from a Christian perspective, like, he's going to get the ultimate judgment. So, I can lay my head down with that.
Sam, you mentioned just a minute ago about the victim's family shouldn't really have a say in it. So are you suggesting that we shouldn't allow them a victim impact statement during the court as well?
I mean, they should definitely have a say in it. I don't think they should determine what happens to that person.
Might be on the jury.
Yeah.
Yeah, like be on the jury.
But isn't their impact statement, isn't the word
Having
impact
impact.
itself?
Yeah,
Aren't they maybe swaying a jury or a judge if it's a judge deciding?
and that's kind of the pathos, you know, that's like kind of influencing what the jury thinks through emotion, and I think that can go either way. You know, like the person that's convicted has the same power, you know.